Figure it out.
Hello, this is Adam Koralik from Figured Out Productions. The following video is a video of some kind, and I hope you enjoy it.
Hey guys, it's Adam here, and welcome to PlayLoad. This is all my video game pickups for the month of December 2020. We are finally there. We're finally at the end of the worst year ever. And hopefully 2021 is not the train wreck that 2020 was. But that said, hopefully everybody had a fun holiday season. Everybody's safe. Hopefully you continue to have a safe time, New Year's and everything. But before we kick off and get rid of this disgusting train wreck of a year, this dumpster fire that was, I want to one last time show you some video game pickups. So as always, this is everything I picked up this month. We got a lot of actual games. We got some random gaming items. And at the very end, we have something very unique. This thing all the way down there. Very, very special. You'll see why. But let's just go ahead and get started here. We have a nice stack of Xbox games, specifically Xbox One, and I guess Xbox Series X enhanced stuff. So the first one here that we're going to be talking about is actually a game that I technically picked up in November, but it didn't arrive until December, which is Resident Evil 3, the remake. I haven't had a chance to play it yet. I did play a bunch of Resident Evil 2 Remake, and I really liked it, although people say this one isn't quite as good. But that said, it was pretty cheap. So I got it during the Black Friday sale when Best Buy had it down to, I don't even know, it was like over a month ago at this point. But it was down pretty cheap. And then I'm still one of the people who has access to a Gamers Club Unlocked membership. And for those who don't remember, Gamers Club Unlocked was a Best Buy program. You would pay them $30, you would get 2 years of coverage, and for that coverage, you got 20% off of any asking price of a video game. Which means if the game was brand new, like it was $60, you were getting 20% off, so it's down to $47. Huge savings. Now in this case, the game wasn't, I don't remember what it was exactly. I think it was like $20. So then you get 20% off that, so you're down to like 16. I think was the case with Resident Evil 3. But everything here actually qualifies. The rest of the stuff that I got came into December, and it was all Best Buy stuff. And in every single case, I just used, they were on sale, and then I used Gamers Club Unlocked. I got Borderlands, the Handsome Collection, which is just the re-release of the remaster or remake, not the remake, remaster of Borderlands 2 and the Borderlands the pre-sequel. I actually had a digital copy of this that 2K had given me, but I didn't own a physical one. At this point, the game is pretty much just a clearance title. But funny enough, I actually started playing this, specifically Borderlands 2, and I went into the DLC section. It turns out there's like HD texture maps in there that are specifically for the Xbox One X and Series X. So if you have this, go in there and grab that, because it doesn't natively have it. You have to actually tell it as a separate step that you want that. So I went ahead and did that, and this was only like a few dollars, because this game's pretty much just nobody cares anymore. But that said, I have that. The same is actually true of this. This is Borderlands 3. I didn't even open this yet. 2K sent me a key for this, like the complete, one with all the DLC and everything. But the game now physically is only was like $6.99 at Best Buy plus 20% off. So I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna pull the trigger and get a physical edition. In case you're wondering, companies tend to send me keys for stuff. It's one of those, I guess, YouTube perks. And some people are like, yeah, as if you would ever go buy a physical one after you have the free key. No, I would. I'm very dedicated to the physical stuff. I don't ask for keys. They just kind of send them to me. I'll check the game out. Cool. If I like it, then sure, I'll go ahead and pick it up. And in this case, yeah, I did. Borderlands 3. So there you go. This one I actually never got a key for. I just picked this up because it was cheap. Doom Eternal. Although I'm hearing that this game is actually kind of a big disappointment. Best Buy was only asking $20 for this. Again, Gamers Club Unlocked. This might technically be my first Xbox Series X physical edition, because even though really it's the same thing as an Xbox One disc, in fact, this disc itself does say that, it has Series X stickers over there as opposed to just saying like it's enhanced, or sometimes they put stickers on the plastic external label. This was very much a last minute decision, but it does say Series X on it with something more official. Which is nice, but I think still technically speaking, I don't have anything that actually claims to be an Xbox Series X disc. And I'm not even sure those exist, to be totally honest with you. Either way, Doom Eternal. Now these I had keys for. Sega sent me this a while ago. Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz HD. I got a key for this, but now again the game was on sale at Best Buy plus Gamers Club Unlocked. You're noticing a pattern here. So got that, and then of course Yakuza 7 Like a Dragon. Again, Sega hooked me up. Now this was kind of weird because Best Buy had, you know, what they call the Steelbook Edition, which is the Day One Steelbook Edition, which comes with extra costumes or whatever. So I didn't think much of it, but they also threw in an extra Best Buy exclusive Steelbook. So I don't really know why you would need 2 Steelbooks specifically, or even 1, to be honest. I'm not a big Steelbook guy, but regardless, they did send it. So thank you very much to Best Buy for having that program still technically exist, even though I know you don't want it around. Nothing specifically to do with me, but anyway, so that was my big stack of games. Then we got a bunch of random items here. A lot of it is gaming too. This one I had no intention of showing, but I did a live stream recently, and my all-time record, 8 hours. And in there, people were asking if I collect anything else, like whatever, and I was like, well, yeah, like Blu-rays and all that sort of stuff. And they're like, how come you never show us those? And I'm just like, people don't really associate the channel with that. So I'm just going ahead. This is not going to be a regular thing. I thought this was kind of a unique one, so I would show it. I got the Mallrats remaster here. This was a relatively recent Blu-ray release that has Mallrats, the Kevin Smith film, as well as there's the theatrical cut, and then there's the extended cut, and the TV cut. I don't remember the specifics of the TV cut, but I know the extended cut was actually pretty different. It wasn't just a couple deleted scenes thrown back in. Like, it's got a completely different intro. They actually had to refilm chunks of it to get it to the theatrical version, because I guess in the original cut, they don't even get to the mall until like 25 minutes into the movie. So a lot of stuff was changed. So it was just kind of interesting, but also I read a lot of Blu-ray reviews about like the video quality and the transfer process. The original print of this that we got like in 2000, early 2000, it might have even been like 2009-ish, was actually just the HD DVD just converted to Blu-ray. The HD DVD came out in like 2006, and I actually have it, but now I guess I can finally get rid of that one in favor of a far superior release video quality-wise, properly transferred and all sorts of stuff. But yeah, there you go. Now, back on the video game, so you don't have to sit with that too long. I got a nice package here. This is something I purchased. It is from Limited Run Games. And I think you probably know what it is if you know anything about me, but we're going to go ahead and open it up and take a look. I guess I could have taken this out because it's not really a big surprise, but why not? Let's do it. Hit myself in the face with that. Inside we have, for the Nintendo Switch, we have Panzer Dragoon Remake. This is the collector's edition that comes in like a Sega Saturn style case. I'm very divided on what I'm actually going to do with this. When I did order this originally, oh, it also comes with a card here that I'm just noticing. When I ordered this originally, I didn't know there was going to be a PS4 version of this. So I'll probably get that one as well, because I typically prefer to play stuff like this on the PS4 over, say, the Switch. But I have mad respect for the case, and inside of this is just like a traditional Switch case and a Switch game. But because Panzer Dragoon is obviously so associated with the Sega Saturn, I think it's just really neat that they did this. I also need to get more of their spare Saturn cases. That's a big project of theirs that they were kind of working on for a while, but that doesn't matter for right now. But yeah, this is an interesting game. I mean, it was another one of these like Sega Spotlight games where Sega themselves wasn't doing a whole lot with the IP, but they allowed someone to go ahead and start working on it, and then brought it over to Sega and said, this is good, you have our assets, and we'll back you up. So essentially this is a Sega release, even though they themselves didn't actually develop it. It was done by Megapixel Studio SA, Forever Entertainment, and some logo that I don't recognize. But either way, yeah, and Sega's involvement was just kind of being the IP holder. But still, very cool. So I like the fact that they did that. And I guess the PS4 version is going to do one of those as well. So, very neat. Next up, something I ordered a long time ago. I mean, like a long time ago. Like, we're talking 2015? But it's here now. This was actually, I think this is the last bit of Shenmue 3 Kickstarter backer stuff that I'm expecting. A lot of people got this a while ago, but mine didn't show up until now. So, I don't know. But either way, I've got it. So let's go ahead and see if I can get through this without using the little cutting tool. I got the other stuff that had shown up, like the capsule toys and all that, but this one, I don't know, it was weird. People were getting this like months ago, and I just wasn't. But I kept checking Fangamer, and it's like, no, yours hasn't shipped yet. It wasn't like it was lost or anything, it just hadn't shown up yet. And I don't think there's anything else in there. Nope, there's not. Okay, down to this. Open up inside. I don't think it needed to be that big. I think that packaging might have been a tad excessive. But either way, we got our items. There's only 2 items in here. One of which has kind of been rendered superfluous, but it's still there. We have the art book of Shenmue 3, which I'll probably go through this and just kind of take a look, and I'll probably enjoy that. I know a lot of people weren't the biggest fans of this game, but I really liked it. I mean, I did a whole review on it. There's no reason to go into that now, but it's like the only time I've done an entire game review on this channel. So if you're at all curious on my thoughts, as if anybody on this channel doesn't know I'm a Shenmue fan, I would say go ahead and watch that for the extensive details. Because even now, like on the live stream, people are asking like, what did I think of it? I'm like, dude, I did a whole like 40-minute video showing footage and explaining like what I thought of the minutia here and there. So I'm a fan, despite its flaws. But every game has flaws, including the originals. But that said, we got this cool art book. And it also comes with an official soundtrack for the game. This is the one that I was saying might be kind of rendered useless, because now, actually funny enough, it's Limited Run Games is doing a vinyl record set for this, as well as a CD OST that's got way more music. This is just like, 21 of the songs. There's like 400 pieces of music in Shenmue 3. The record set's like 280 songs or something like that, but I think the CD collection is like 300, around the exact same number, if not exactly the same. So they're probably all the same ones. This is just going to be one of those novelty items for Shenmue collectors in the future. So yeah, very cool regardless. So awesome to have that, and just kind of the mental note of like, okay, that's finally done. Moving on though. We got a couple of random items. These are essentially gifts, every single one of these, before we get on to the craziest thing here. First up, we have a random item that I have no idea what it is. I mean, I'm guessing it's a game based on the way it sounds, but it's from a guy named Laudmont. Now, I've mentioned him a couple times on the channel. If you watched the live stream, he got a lot of shout-outs in that. But also, last month, I kind of made... in our Discord, I have a Discord, check it out, there's a link in the description. It's free, join. But in there, Laudmont's like known as like the rich guy, even though he's just a normal dude. Everybody just jokes about it, because he owns a PS5, and then like a big joke came out of that, whatever. But anyway, so at one time, he kind of hinted at the possibility of buying me a PS5, and then this giant box showed up, and I was like, dude. And it wasn't a PS5, it was completely unrelated to him. But I guess he felt bad for some reason, which he didn't. He certainly didn't owe me anything. He had no reason to send me anything. But that said, he just sent me something, and I don't actually know what it is. So now we're going to open it up and take a look. And he says I'm going to be mad at him about this, but he also... Laudmont, you're an interesting guy, because you always think that everybody's mad at you. Nobody's mad at you, man. You didn't do anything wrong. But regardless, what we have inside, we get past the packaging. We have... see, he literally wrote... I'm sorry, Adam, and then that's supposed to be like a thing he writes on stuff when he's trying to express sadness, I guess. And he drew a picture of Sonic crying and wrote "Merry Christmas" from Tom, aka Laudmont. Now I have to try and not damage the artwork that he made there. Let me get around maybe cut around the back here. This will be easier said than done. How am I going to do this? Yeah, okay. Let's see here. It's looks like a PS4 game. No, it's a PS5. Dude, he bought me a copy of Demon's Souls for a console I don't own. I mean, thank you, but it's very nice of you. So I officially... Alright, here's the funny thing. I still don't actually have a game that at least I know of that's officially an Xbox Series X physical edition, but I have the console. And now, thanks to Laudmont's, I guess, cosmic joke, I have a physical PS5 game, which is a console I don't own. So the universe balances out, the Force, you know, whatever. Star Wars references, let's have them. But anyway, yes, so thank you very much, Laudmont, for a random copy of Demon's Souls for the PS5, which is, yeah, that's definitely Laudmont's sense of humor, so thank you. I should have mentioned it before, and I don't think I did. I actually got this as a gift, too. My cousin gave me this shirt. Check that out. Whatever happens, Marty, don't go to 2020. I think it's actually the perfect, absolutely perfect shirt to wear on New Year's Eve. Next up, so again, thank you, Laudmont. Next up, though, I mentioned before that sometimes companies just randomly send me codes and keys and things. They also send me just random items. That's what this is, this next one. This actually comes from Ubisoft. Every year, Ubisoft sends me something for Christmas. And I already know what it is, but I'm interested to see how it actually turned out. So let's take a look here and look inside, because they certainly didn't have to do that. It is Yep, it is just a pair of Ubisoft socks, or Ubi socks. Yep, they even wrote it. May these Ubi socks keep you warm this holiday season. The socially distanced fist bumps from Ubisoft PR. So thank you very much to Ubisoft for the free pair of Ubi socks. Yeah, I think I had made that joke about, because they sent Christmas socks like 5 years ago. Like the first Christmas one I ever got from them, I had called them Ubi socks. And I guess they just, I'm not saying I had anything to do with it, but they obviously embraced that same term. It's a pretty obvious thing to call them. But yeah, thank you Ubisoft for the random pair of socks. Much appreciated. Next up, this is something that is not video game related at all, but I think people with like a multitude of interests might find this kind of fascinating. This package is from Vietnam. I'm not going to go into all the details of it because it's not really important, but I have a friend in Vietnam, and she's essentially attempting to start a coffee distribution business. Now, if you're not familiar, Vietnamese coffee is awesome. Like, it's way better than any of the stuff you normally find here. And they also have access to some of the coffees that aren't really normally ever distributed here, like the infamous Poop Weasel coffee. And I will explain that in a bit, but let's go ahead and open it up. So she essentially hooked me up with various Vietnamese coffees, and we're just going to go ahead and take just a quick look, because I realized to a lot of people it's like, dude, it's just coffee. When you taste it, you'll realize, oh, no, it's not just coffee, provided that you like coffee in the first place. But let's open it up, and inside we have a bag. Put that box down. I think I cut myself on the box. And then inside, yeah, we got various coffees, which were to be expected, and oh, it smells so good. I think I dropped something. It doesn't matter. But yeah, toss that aside. So we have various bags of coffee. They're all basically the same thing. 250 grams of the infamous Gold Weasel, or Gold Weasel coffee. So for our purposes, we'll just look at this one. This is, as far as you would know, it's just a bag of coffee. It smells very chocolatey. It smells very nice. This is Poop Weasel coffee. Poop Weasel coffee, if you're not familiar, is a very disgusting concept that turns out to be like the greatest thing ever. There's a specific type of coffee bean that is eaten by this little weasel-looking animal that you see on the box. And that animal can't digest it properly, but its stomach, the enzymes in it, like essentially mutate it, and it goes through nature's course, and then people take out the beans from the excrement, they wash them, they roast them, and then they bag them. And I'm telling you, I know the concept is disgusting to people. I get it. And I opened my mind and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to try this. I swear to you, it is the greatest coffee ever. If you had it's one of those things where it's like honey. If you like the flavor of honey, you're like, oh, it's so good. It's bee barf. That's literally what it is. It's the puke of a bee. So it's sometimes some of that stuff just pans out for one reason or another. And in this case, Vietnamese Poop Weasel coffee is the absolute best coffee. Like, this is my champagne. Like, I've had this before. My mom used to go there before she passed away earlier this year. Actually, that's what made Christmas kind of weird this year, but it doesn't matter. She used to go there and then bring back bags of this stuff. And it's like, this was my champagne. Like, I had this when the Cubs won the World Series, you know, like stuff like that. Like, just a big, you celebrate like that with it because it's just so good. Although she's, like I said, she's kind of expanding this potential coffee distribution business that she's working on. So I guess to any Americans out there who might be interested in trying this, maybe we can hook that up and maybe she can start shipping you them or whatever. Because it's infinitely cheaper than the normal importing process, but not that that matters at the moment. But this stuff is fantastic, absolutely fantastic. If you like coffee at all, I'm telling you, you've never had better coffee in your life. Everyone I've ever had try that, you know, regardless if they know the story or not, is just like, dude, bruh, like that's next level stuff. Yeah. So anyway, that's just kind of a little fun one there. But let's take that off to the side. So now I got 4 of those. That's great. This one up though, this is the video game thing, and this is, it may look unassuming. It's just a blue binder, right? It may not look interesting. This is actually possibly, if not definitely, one of the most unique things now in my collection. I'm just going to read this letter. It was written on the back of a postal envelope. It says, "Please enjoy. Thank you for your videos and dedication from Hobgoblin, aka Sega Mischief, or Derek." So Derek here, thank you very much for sending this to me. You did not have to do that. And that goes for anybody, by the way. Obviously, you know, I didn't have to get sent Vietnamese coffee. I did not have to be sent Demon Souls. Laudmont, why would you do that to me? But regardless, oh, and Ubisoft obviously didn't have to do that either. But this was special. So Derek messages me, and he says like, "Hey man, he shows me pictures of this random thing, and he's just like, I don't know much about this, but it's very much a Sega thing, and it seems like something you might be interested in." And he's like, I don't want it. I've had it for a long time. A former Sega employee took it from Sega in the late 90s and then gave it to me, and I don't want it. So you're the Sega guy as far as I'm concerned, so I want to send it to you. And I was like, you don't have to do that, but you know, I do appreciate it. And he's like, no, really, I'm just going to, you know, get rid of them one way or another. So I was like, okay, fine. So as he's sending them, I reach out to Sega to ask, like, what is this thing? Oh, and they tell me a story. And in case you're wondering why I didn't open it on camera, it arrived, the package was like utterly destroyed, and I wanted to make sure that this item was safe because it's literally one of a kind. So what is inside may not look that insane initially. It's just slides. Okay, these are just slides. But that may not seem super impressive, but trust me when I say it's actually quite special. So he showed me a couple photos of these slides before he shipped it off. And I was like, well, wait a second. I actually know people at Sega. Maybe I can ask them, like, what are these slides? And so I asked one guy, and he gets back to me, and he's like, oh, those are super rare. I'm like, what are they? And he's like, so back in the 90s, obviously the computer archiving was not really a thing. So when they made cover art for games or anything like that, the way they would archive it is they would essentially transcribe it to film stock. And that film stock would be the slides. And then they would basically put them away, and then that's how they archived artwork. And but he said at the end of the 90s, like before the Dreamcast launched, around the time of the Saturn, Sega of America was just kind of like, this stuff's taking up room and we don't want it, and they started just letting employees take it before somebody kind of put a stop to that. But a whole bunch of them were missing. So my guy at Sega's like, it's a shame, because he's like, a few hundred of them are missing and we have no idea where they are, but it is what it is, because he's like, I want to archive them. And so while I'm finding that out, this arrives, and I go to Derek and I tell him what I had learned. And he was like, that's great. I hope something cool happens with them. And they will. So what's going to happen actually is that I've talked to a few different people. I talked to Kelsey Lewin. She runs, or at least helps to run the Videogame Foundation, or History Foundation. I talked to people at Sega about this. At some point, what's going to happen is I'm going to go out to London and we're going to archive these. So if you're like, okay, that's crazy, but I'm still not really getting a great sense of it. Here, for example, I'll pull this out. This slide contains the original negative artwork for Aladdin, for the Genesis. Let me grab it right here. And I dropped a game, doesn't matter. Aladdin, Sega Genesis game, right here, right? Right here in my other hand is the original negative artwork for this box. You see why that's kind of special? Like, this is how it gets archived eventually. And I've got a whole bunch of them. There's like about 120 of them in here. Some of them are just random things. Like, here's artwork for the Sega CDX carrying case. There's also ones for alternate versions of cover art. It's got Sega Genesis artwork, it's got Sega CD artwork, it's got 32X artwork, and Game Gear artwork. It even has some unreleased games. And then, like, there's a 32X Stellar Assault, I'm pretty sure was unreleased. I don't remember that game offhand. Or at least this is an alternate cover variant, because I don't remember ever seeing that. It actually, if I could find it real quick here, there was one that was, what is this? No, that's a different artwork for Afterburner. Yeah, there's the original, like, artwork for this is the Sega Mega Drive with the mouse, Model 2 for Europe, just sitting here. What else have we got? I have looked through them before. I'm just trying to remember. Like, we have different versions of Power Rangers for Sega Genesis with different artwork. Then we have, so there's some random, like, you know how back of the cases will have these random, like, photos, screenshots of the game? I actually have a few of those as well. All right. I'll get back to that in a second. Like, okay, when Mega Man met Sonic, the original negative artwork of Mega Man meeting Sonic. Right here in my hand. Some of them are labeled, some of them are not. Some of them you just have to kind of look. The original artwork for Knuckles Chaotix for the 32X. Sonic and Knuckles. There's a whole bunch of screenshots like that would go on the back of the box for Sonic and Knuckles. Okay, now here's one I know never came out. This is Midnight Rangers for the Sega CD 32X combo, aka the Machine, aka the Tower of Power, right here. Unreleased game. Original artwork. Or one that was kind of released, Surgical Strike for the Sega CD 32X, only if ever really came out in Brazil. The North American version never existed, but I have the original negative artwork for it now. So it's crazy. Like, there's just so many bizarre. Like, here's the original box art for the Sega Pico or the Sega IR7000. Like, you get the idea. There's a whole bunch of just random ones in here. So mostly it's stuff that has been released, logically so, but then a bunch of them are just, yeah. So what's going to happen, like I said, there's also a bunch of random emails, like internal emails and stuff like that from Sega at the time. Nothing super bizarre, but then some code sheets and just a bunch of just random documents from that time. A lot of strategy guide stuff that I think was meant for dev use. Very bizarre. But so I asked people at Sega, I'm like, well, okay, I don't want to hide this, you know, like, what do we do? And they were like, yeah, or come out to London whenever all the pandemic stuff is over, and they'll archive it, but they're allowing me to keep it because from their perspective, Sega gave those away. They just regret it, but that legally makes me the owner. So they're not going to try and take it from me, but I'm more than happy to let them archive it for their own preservation purposes because they're getting very good at that lately. I'm going to let the Video Game History Foundation be able to archive them as well. This is not something that's like, no, it's mine. It has to stay mine forever. Like, no, I want everybody to have access to it in whatever modern way is possible. So just so you know, that'll be a thing. That's something that's going to be going on. But that will pretty much do it right here. So I want to thank Derek for that. I want to thank Lodmot, which this is a nice gesture, even though I know he was basically trolling me by doing this, because essentially he was just saying, like, I got a PS5 and you don't, bitch. But nevertheless, thank you, Lodmot. Again, this is how Lodmot functions. He, like, does a nice gesture to upset you and then apologizes for it, if that makes any sense, if you follow that line of logic. Thank you to my friend in Vietnam who's hooking me up with the coffee. Thank you to Ubisoft for the socks. And, of course, thank you guys for watching. If you guys could check the description out and, you know, go to Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, the Discord. Come hang out in the Discord. The Discord's crazy lately. It's great. All the social media stuff is always appreciated. Patreon is awesome. You can help support the channel so we can continue on into 2021. Then I don't have to go anywhere. It's great. But that said, all of that. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching, and I'll see you all later.